Cheers.
Dude.
What's up, y'all? Hope you guys are having a good week. So if you haven't heard, the world's not burning, which is good, but Joe Biden is now the president-elect. So amongst, we're going to be talking a little bit about that, how it's going to be affecting, finance, business, everything in regards to that. We're also going to be talking about Bitcoin, unemployment, the stock market, and then end with that. So stick around. Without further ado, I'm going to set us a little 5-minute timer to start talking about Bitcoin here.
Yes. So if any of you guys have been following Bitcoin or at all know about it, it's been on a little bit of a tear lately, some would say.
Dude, yeah.
So just in this past week, I think it's gone up like 10 or 15%, 10 to 15. And then on the year, it's up like 45. Or on the month, maybe 45.
Yeah, it's going absolutely insane. This past month, it increased. This past month though, it went from 11,607 to a fucking 15,500. A 40% fucking increase in a month.
Now,
okay, that's just stupid.
Now let's remind ourselves that this time 4 years ago, a couple months back was the halving of Bitcoin, but that didn't really reflect the price until like months to like a year after the fact.
Yeah,
and we're kind of in that.
Halving, everybody should know what halving is. If you don't, you're probably Nana. You know what halving is because she watches our fucking videos. No, but
Shout out, Nana.
Yeah. So if you don't know what halving is, read a book. But all it is it reduces the ability to mine Bitcoin, the rate of mining. So in that sense, it makes it harder to obtain and therefore scarcer. So it was assumed that Bitcoin would increase in valuation with the halving and coming up because of the laws of supply and demand and scarcity. Sorry, we already finished this fucking cup of coffee, so we're all like.
Now, last time it halved was 2016, and it didn't go crazy until like the end of 2017.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of going through that cycle again, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens because one, crypto right now is definitely more attainable and a little bit more liquid than it was back then when nobody knew about it.
Yep.
And then two, it's going to be crazy because now we're starting to see, like a week ago, it came out that PayPal and like Square are going to start accepting cryptocurrencies for payment. They're going to see how it becomes more widely adopted in the mainstream. And then also a lot of institutions, hedge funds, pension funds are starting to allocate some of their capital to Bitcoin as well. So
yep, and like Riley mentioned, the last time it had was 2016, and the next time it's going to have is in 2024. So it does it every 4 years. Sound familiar? But so the last time it halved in 2016, it was like roughly around $500, $700, just shy of 1,000. It within 2 years, so from 2016 to the end of 2017, so about a year and a half, it got to like the high price of like $13,000 per Bitcoin. It even got up to like 20,000 for like a half a second. Yeah,
it peaked at like 20 grand.
And we're at a consistent we're at a consistent 10 grand base for Bitcoin. We have been for the past 2 years. I want to say I'll vouch for that. But right now we're seeing a spike of 15,500. I don't know if this is the start of a trend or if it's simply just a spike. It could be either. But what we do know is this fucking Bitcoin just halved, and what we do know is the last time it halved, it did the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
So
I think this is the start of a trend because
100K Bitcoin by 2024.
That's what everybody's saying. I don't know about that, but like, I don't know.
You don't. Do you think it's crazy for Bitcoin to go 5 times its value in 4 years? Do you think that's crazy? I think it's crazy, but I think it's gonna happen.
It's crazy, but it's not outlandish. Like it's totally like within the realm of Bitcoin. You see how volatile it is. I mean, like these like 40,
it goes up and down more than a hooker. Am I right?
It has like these 50% corrections on a regular basis, which is like no other asset has that unless it's like a sketchy like.
Would you consider
contract.
Bitcoin an asset considering it's a currency?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It is.
I think a lot of people consider it like a store of value as well. Like,
I would compare it to It's hard because when you say like I would compare it to gold, which is another currency, it's a little. I look at it differently because it's a lot more liquid. First of all, I mean you can buy crypto gold nowadays like Pax Gold and stuff that they have secure gold in the UK. I mean the UK banks that you just virtually buy. However, you never get the token itself.
And it's actually like with like proven fact that it's actually scarce. Like we know
like gold is actually scarce where
there's a fixed amount of Bitcoin, but we don't know like how much we have a supply of gold, but we don't.
Oh
know,
yeah,
we don't
yeah.
know how much there is out there.
Yeah, you're right. There's the fixed supply of Bitcoin. I think it's 18 million, and then 21 million is like the further cap, right?
I think
like the
so.
absolute cap.
Something like that.
Yeah, some shit. We don't know what the fuck we're talking
Some
about.
odd $1 billion.
No, but yeah, I'll look it up. Bitcoin circulation. Because what happens is every time you would think that every time they keep mining, yeah, it's limited at 21 million, like I thought, but it's currently at 18 million, I believe. Yeah. But once they get to 21 million, it will literally stop Bitcoin mining, and people are still going to be obtaining this as a form of payment. Mm-hmm. So if there's no more of it to produce,
demand stays the same or increases, but supply will stop. There will not be any more.
Yeah, it'll be is it a vertical supply? No, it'll be a flat. It'll be a flat supply curve then, like bottomed out.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that being said, I think that Bitcoin's probably gonna shoot the fuck up within the next 4 years because of the halving. In addition, it's already seeing that trend, slight scenes of it. But
it hit a 52-week high, I think, the other day. So I mean, it's the highest it's been since it went up like that to like 20 grand.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's you're always told don't invest. I know we're going over the 5-minute timer, but yeah, bear with me, guys. So you're always told to invest when it's low or whatever. But in all reality, if you notice a trend, and that's your method of trading, then that would be that's what we learned in the fucking Way of the Turtle.
That's why I invested in it. I bought one Bitcoin like 2 weeks ago because the chart looked good.
Yeah, how much return you get in 2 weeks? How much return you get in 2 weeks?
$2,000 so far.
You damn right, you got $2,000 in 2 fucking weeks for one fucking Bitcoin, guy. Yeah, stupid return.
I just saw the trend. And I saw the chart itself, the technical analysis was setting up. Yep. And then also on top of that, you have, history now with Bitcoin to back you up on that too. Like, okay, what happened 4 years ago at this time when the halving happened, and you can kind of correlate that stuff, similar to how you do with stocks. So,
motherfucker spitting. Yeah.
It'll be sick. It's going to be wild. But
So on that note, guys, we're going to get another espresso and be right back. Without further ado, we're going to move on to our next topic, which is unemployment. Cheers, buddy. Oh, goddamn, that's good. All right. So unemployment. As we've talked about previously, the numbers, they were absolutely at an absolute low in April, and they've steadily been increasing in regards to like gaining jobs back. But people are still filing unemployment numbers, in the several hundred thousands every single week. So that's alarming. But people are regaining their jobs back. The unemployment rate is decreasing, but so is the rate where people are stopped looking for jobs. We've talked about this in the past. I just want to emphasize that I think that the economy is going to be in a great direction now that we have an actual fucking leader in the helm, because it does. I mean, also you have to remember, I think that in politics, the economy was shut down in large part to make an emphasis like how bad things are to get Trump out of office. So that was kind of like just political bullshit, how everybody's been kind of having to suffer for this shit. However, I think that once Joe Biden's office, we're going to see a bigger stimulus come through, as well as less unemployment. What do you think, Riley?
Yeah, I mean, kind of going on with what you were saying. So I'm just reading this article right now from CNBC, and basically is what it's saying is that for the jobs report for the month of October, unemployment fell to 6.9% for, let's say, non-farm
For
payrolls.
reference, it was at like just under 4% going into the I'll call it the recession of the pandemic.
Recession.
The baby recession.
So yeah, people. Again, I don't know if we're gonna get a stimulus done by the time. I probably won't, actually.
Well, Big Daddy Gov can save us all they want, but I think at the end of the day, it's gonna take like the working class to get back in action. We're gonna have to start. People are gonna have to start doing shit again.
Yeah.
Because that's how the world works. The world revolves around people spending money. Consumer spending. That vacation, the people you meet, the things you talk about, the world needs to move. Like, the globe spins, bitch. Let's get this shit going. But I don't – that's stupid. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that the fact that the total non-farm, which is people that aren't agriculture, payroll, employment, it rose by 638,000 in October. So that makes me happy to see, just because it means that we're at least getting jobs back. You can't get them all back at once, but –
Consumer spending is made up of 68% of the U.S. economy, so that kind of should be an important factor, and that should be maybe the first point of attack as far as getting us on the right foot. No, I don't think consumer spending is necessarily. I think it's possibly the reason it's gone down is because, well, it's hard to say because
I'll tell you what.
Has the retail sales made up, or has the e-commerce sales made up for the retail sales?
As the e-commerce sales made up for the retail sales,
like,
I mean,
for the amount
you got to remember you're dismissing a whole industry at that sense.
Yeah.
So people are suffering regardless. You know, like you can't just a person who works at fucking H&M can't just become a fucking computer science major all of a sudden. You know, like dude, Abercrombie and Finch models, R.I.P. But the thing is like with household debt to $14.3 trillion, people with a T, 14.3 trillion for household debt. And that's not even including credit card debt, okay? That's just fucking household debt. And we're talking about American citizens that are accumulating all this debt. If they have this debt, and, America runs on fucking debt.
And Duncan.
And fucking whatever the hell's in this cup. But, yeah, no, the point I'm trying to make here, though, is that we have so much of this overhang of debt, and we're all just ignoring it. Every single person is. This isn't the government I'm talking about. This is household debt. So I don't see but the worst part is like that's just how the US functions. We're run on a debt-based economy.
Yep.
I'm not afraid of the debt. What I'm afraid of is people not spending more money because they're not working. The thing is people are going to spend money whether or not they're working. That's like they're going to live. They have to live.
I can't tell you how many unemployment debit cards I had taken at my first week of work. Literally almost every other one seemed to be like an EDD debit card.
Damn.
Which is like just what they put your unemployment
I didn't even know
so
that.
you can pay for it.
That's wild.
I was like, this is like not good if half the customers here are using their unemployment card.
Yeah, I mean
that's it like in action and in reality you can see it happening. It's not just reading a stat like
it's
online.
a vicious cycle too with unemployment and all welfare and all these programs to help people out that are in a tough spot because it's like sucking on the mother teat of the United States of America. You're not going to want to unlatch. You're going to want to fucking squeeze and grip and twist, okay?
Exactly.
And once you get a taste of mama milk, you're not going to like fucking daddy milk, okay? Because daddy milk don't taste so good. Not good. But that's the harsh reality of it, man. You got to nut up and shut up and just accept it. With that note, we're going to end the topic of unemployment and move on to the next stop.
The stock market.
All right.
I think.
Well, let's get another cup of Joe, and we'll be right back. You cheers. Do you finish yours?
Yeah.
Oh, you little slut. Oh, that's good. All right. So, it's fucking freezing out here.
Yes.
But
we're freezing, but the stock market's hot.
Oh, shit, that transition, though. So, we talk about motherfucking stock market. We talk about the motherfucking Dow. No, but, all right, without further ado, we're going to talk about the stock market. 5-minute timer's going. So, like Riley said, it's just fucking, it's just got a stop and it's just bursting through. It's just a stop and it just keeps going. But, yeah, the stock market is booming right now.
Amidst all this uncertainty and everything that's going on in the world, the past week, I think the stock market was up. It seemed like 1% every single day, multiple percents on certain days. And then today being Sunday, we're reading that the stock market futures are up another percent.
Just wild.
Across pretty much all the indexes.
Yeah.
After the victory of Biden has been declared. And it's just like, what the hell's going on?
So, for reference, in the dark days of March 20th was the lowest point, 2304. I mean, for the S&P 500, it was valued at 2,304, and then this index has not stopped an upward trend yet. Like, it hasn't been was that, and then so it has dips and stuff, but the trend has been positive nonstop.
And it looks like it's about to break out again from what I can see on your computer.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Like it's about to do the same shit. It's
right now it's at fuck, it is about to break out. But the point is it's been at a level lately at 3509, and this level has just been keeping it at 3500. I think it's just gonna do its thing and just burst that level because it hasn't hit. It almost broke through in what's it called? Back in September, or in end of August. It was close to breaking through that 3,500 barrier, and we're it's at the cusp right now. I think it's gonna happen, but we'll see. We're gonna talk about the election soon, but the Biden presidency is gonna have a huge thing to do with the stock market.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation.
Everybody thought, I think, I think everybody was right for thinking this, but everybody thought, oh, if Biden wins, like it's like bad news bears. And granted, it's still like super early to even call anybody.
Way too early to call anything. Yeah.
So.
But futures don't lie. Like
yeah,
right
exactly.
Now,
futures don't lie. So I mean, the news is out, and the stock market still doesn't give a fuck. So it's like,
dude,
okay.
Yeah. It's like honey badger stock market, man. They're the
same.
Same. Yeah. They just don't give a fuck. But you know, the shitty thing is like a lot of people, like myself, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that the market was gonna crash way sooner than it did. But with the Fed securing their interest rates for, you know, is it 2 years they said? Or
I think it was still 2022 or 23 or something.
So yeah, here I'll do a quick Google on that. But so the Fed basically, Jay Powell gave a speech saying, this was back in November or October.
A month ago.
Yeah. Where he's just like, I'm gonna keep rates low as fuck for a long time. And then sure enough, like the stock market went up again. It was on a downward trend for like a month, I'd want to say.
But then like we also have to take into account, like if the stock market does show signs of crashing, is there going to be any intervention like there was in like March, where we have this immense amount of quantitative easing again, this immense amount of stimulus? Are we going to keep plugging away at like that debt and at that stimulus, or is it just going to be like, fuck it, let it ride?
What scares me is that we can't keep bailing out large corporations. You know, it makes no sense why. Like I mean, I'm a capitalist the day I die. But the thing is like I was looking at some socialist countries, you know, like don't tell my grandma. No, my grandma's an absolute capitalist. But I was looking at some socialist programs and whatnot in the like Germany and stuff in France, where they literally, instead of giving money to corporations, they saw how much money that people were earning, and they gave them like 75-80% of their paycheck in some places. And I thought that was cool. That was way fucking better idea. I was like, why didn't the government ask employers how much? Like we kind of did that with PPE. However, it was not the same as paycheck protection, because a lot of those companies only got loans instead of grants and stuff. In addition, a lot of businesses didn't even get those things. Instead of giving it directly to the people, they gave it to large corporations and trusted them. You know what the large corporations said? Fuck you, we're going to lay off a bunch of people, and then eventually just fucking, you know, like, we're going to furlough a bunch of people and then lay them off.
Yeah. And for some industries, it's like a natural...
It's fucked up.
It's a natural stimulus. Like, if you give the consumer more money, they're inherently going to spend it. I mean, that's economics.
Yeah. And they gave us all $1,200 of it back in fucking April.
Yeah.
And they're like, here, have fun for the next 8 months, bitch. In a month, it'll be 8 months. So you tell me if you're going to get $1,000 by December. Not a fucking chance.
Not a chance.
I could not have been more disappointed in our legislation and government. I think that our Constitution is doing a great job, but our leaders failed us. You know, like the founders didn't envision this, you know, but what they did envision is for shit to go bad. So that's what the Constitution is there for. It's there to protect our rights.
Yes, sir.
You know? That's one thing that I really didn't like also about, oh, fuck. I was going to say about the stock market, but we're done. Okay. We're going to move on to the next topic. Going to get more of this covfefe, but we'll be right back. See y'all.
Let's do it.
Cheers. All right. So
election talk.
10-minute timer. That's double the last 3. So, I'm cracked the fuck out. Here we go.
That's double, triple, fraction of 2.
So, the election. So, we got all this fucking voter fraud. No, I'm kidding. So we got Joe Biden, president-elect, and then we got Trump losing his goddamn mind on Twitter.
What's new?
Basically everybody's been assuming Joe Biden's gonna be president since, you know, it was since Bernie dropped out.
Yeah.
Well, that's if you thought that Trump was gonna lose. Obviously, if you didn't think that Democrats were gonna win, then you assumed Trump would have another 4 years. However, the way how it's looking right now is that the left has fully, the left, and I'll say most media companies, even Fox News has admitted Biden as the president-elect, leading fucking all of Fox News' viewers, like most of their viewers, to just stop watching. Did you notice that? Did you see that in the news? Oh my God. Let me pull that up. But
wait,
yeah.
So wait, what was it?
So Fox News announced President-elect Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And their viewers stopped watching, went to like AON, like All American Network and shit. Just like these really as far right as they get networks, just to hear something that would make them happy. Besides, like, there's no way Joe Biden would be the president.
Yeah.
But I mean, personally, I'm independent. I don't play fucking party favors on either side. I think that politics, they're all hypocrites too, you know, and it's all about power at the end of the day. But yeah, man, fucking Fox News. But let's talk about how Joe Biden elect is gonna focus on finance, commerce, and all of that. Like, what do you think is gonna happen with?
I mean,
yeah. Go ahead, take it away.
Biden and Harris have been very vocal and very public about them saying like, okay, the first thing we're gonna do when we get to office is pass some sort of stimulus bill. I don't know how the Senate and the House race ended up either, because that'll play a big factor in if that bill actually gets passed or not. What the majority would be, or if that even changed. I don't know. I haven't checked. But that's kind of like, I guess, the more pressing issue. And then kind of, I guess, just seeing like what the stimulus bill will be and how it will differ from Trump's, I guess, because the reason Trump's bill hasn't been passed is because it apparently wasn't enough stimulus, and then the Democrats want too much stimulus. Yeah, and then they can't agree. And it's
so check it out. The Democrats wanted $3 trillion, and then the Republicans wanted $600 billion. If you could, if there isn't a bigger like example of how divided our country is with our policies and shit. Yeah. So the next counteroffer was a $1.6 trillion offer by the Republicans, and a $2.1 trillion counteroffer with Democrats. $2.2 trillion, my bad. Which is the same one that got passed earlier in April. However, that still didn't get passed, so they're at a disagreement. Trump's pissed. Trump didn't even win the election, so he's even more pissed now because all this shit happened before the election. And then now I think that we're going to see a stimulus being passed because, like I said, politics isn't all let me just go on a little rant. So as a young age, we're taught about cause and effect, but in all reality, the world works as a system. So you can point fingers all you want, but some action may not really come up as an effect later on. It may pop up somewhere else as like some other thing that you didn't even know about. Yeah. People often misdiagnose the way how the world works because they see it as a cause and effect instead of everything's connected. You know what I'm saying, man? Yeah. No, but that's it. Straight facts, though.
Yeah.
Like you cannot tell me that the fact that we had Trump as president for 4 years did not divide the country more. You could say like, oh no, the people are already divided. Yes, I 100% agree. However, when you have a leader who's propagating all of this shit, pointing fingers when he should be coming together.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy about that. That we're gonna have that as an outlook. Maybe we can start getting people to hire people, get the economy back in order.
Yeah.
Get people going places again once we get the coronavirus situation under control, too. That's a whole other topic.
That's what I was going to get to. I think another thing is Biden being a little bit more strict and a little bit more respectful to science, the science of things with the coronavirus.
Respectful? You mean actually believe in science?
Are we going to see another lockdown in the near future?
Fucking hope not.
Is that a possibility?
So the thing about lockdowns is that they help contain people, but not the virus, because the people that are going to spread the virus are still going to go out, I think. That's just my perspective. Like the people who aren't that, like, there's good people that follow rules and there's bad people that don't follow rules. I just think that if you're going to make a rule, make it a good rule. Because if you make a shitty rule, like don't go outside, people aren't going to follow it.
No.
What the fuck? You tell me don't go outside for what? Because if you look at the laws of nature and you breathe outside, it's going to disperse like a motherfucker into the air. If you've ever taken a science class, the bigger the fucking, container, the less particles are in the air. And if you know anything about the fucking coronavirus, the more exposure you have, the higher risk you are to getting the disease. Yeah. If somebody coughs me with coronavirus, you may not even get coronavirus. Oh my God, crazy, I know. You're just susceptible to it. God, dude, fucking retards. I'm sorry, but like, no, I shouldn't say that. But yeah.
But,
you know what grinds my gears? There's all these dumb people telling me what to do who fucking don't look at shit.
And then everybody's been roasting Trump about how he's been handling the coronavirus. It'll be interesting to see what Biden's actual plan is. This article says here, Biden is set to announce a new 12-person coronavirus task force on Monday, whatever that means. He's got some Ghostbusters shit.
Yeah, task force.
So
there's something strange in China's sweat markets or whatever, or whatever they call wet markets.
Who are you going to call?
Joe Biden's pandemic response team. Yeah. No,
I am Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Dude, oh my God. What really surprised me though was that the stock futures are still going up after the election. Didn't think that was happening. I think it might be due to just like hope in America returning.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, if you weren't like, I don't want to be like fucking one of those fucks that's like, if you weren't one of the elitist people or whatever, but like if you didn't have a stable income and you weren't able to keep your job during the pandemic, then you're probably really happy that Biden's president, because I think that he can get the economy going back more than a failed businessman,
100%.
Because let's be real, like, what the fuck has like the last 4 years been? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck kind of fever dream was this shit? Yeah. We all thought it'd be fun and games, until we elected this motherfucker. Because I'm not gonna lie, dude, when he was like on the debates and he's like trash talking Jeb Bush and shit, and like fucking on Ted Cruz, calling him like, not, but you're barely a man and shit.
It was like watching reality TV. It
was and guess what the last 4 years was? It was like you're living through reality TV, but it's a fucking nightmare, It's like, like how they have the Bachelorette. There's like the villain,
Yeah.
It's like our president was the Bachelorette villain, and we're all just like, oh my God, Melania, just break up with him. Like, like, what are you doing sticking with this guy? But and then some people loved him, because they love the villain. They're like, yeah, he tells people how it is,
Yeah.
Which just goes. It's just
he's a businessman.
Yeah.
He's not a politician.
Yeah, he says it how he is, He's like, yeah. Like, it's like, well, maybe it's not how it should be. But, I'm really hopeful that we're going to open up the economy more. Maybe Joe does a 2-week hardcore lockdown just to, like, I don't know, swing his big Democratic dick on us. Like, oh, check it. You guys hated lockdowns? Well, guess what? I'm president now, bitch. 2 more weeks. And then I don't think that would be the best thing for our country to unify us. I think instead he should mandate mandating masks is iffy because people, like I said, like outside and running, exercising, when you're breathing air from the atmosphere versus indoors, unventilated, uncirculated, two whole different things. You can't say that they're the same.
We've also been talking a lot about what the future holds, what we would think are like personal theses on the stock market, like medium term, and like what we're buying, and we both kind of agreed that we're in like these ETFs that are either like volatility ETFs or like reverse leverage ETFs, like what was it?
TQQ, SQQQ,
TQQ,
SPXS,
UVXY.
Yeah, because I'm at a cross. I don't like to predict anything for the stock market. I just like to notice trends.
Yeah.
And hope that they continue.
That's the way they do it. Is getting confirmation that a trend is happening before you go in and like go in it blindly.
And we're looking at the stock market with Joe being elected. Everything besides the Feds pumping it is saying it's going to plummet. Yeah. Everything I'm looking at is saying it's going to plummet. But every chart I'm looking at says it's going up.
Yeah.
So
it's only a matter of time. It seems like
facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah. Seems like we're building up to like this like huge climax. It seems like, and then you want to obviously be in it whenever it happens. You don't want to be late. So it's good to kind of like cost average in it and then be in it when it happens. So
see, yeah. And if for everyone who doesn't know what he's talking about, basically, put a little bit into like some of these funds. I'm not telling you what to do, but this is what I'm doing. It's called cost averaging, not financial advice. Don't sue me. No. So what I like to do is I like to cost average. So let's pretend I want to invest in this thing and I don't care if it goes up or down. I just like it to be averaged. I'll just do reoccurring 1-week investments until it plummets, and then I'll just I'll just
normally
wait.
You average in more as it's going down and average in less as it's going up normally, but everybody has their different way of doing it. You can.
That's a smarter way. You get more return on your investment.
Yeah, but if it doesn't go down and it just goes up, you're not getting the full potential, I guess, out of your investment.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that. Like.
I agree.
So.
Well,
guys, that about sums that up.
Yeah.
It's cold as shit. I'm going to go in the jacuzzi.
Yeah, it's fucking freezing. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting 4 years. Whether or not Trump peacefully, hands down, he's not going to be the next president. Like, he may take it to court. He may, like, prolong the thing. But, I mean, the people are the ones who vote. Trump he can say voter fraud all he wants, but... and he could take it to court. He has every right to do the things. And I very well think he will because he wants to be the next president. He has 73 million people who want to be the next president. However, it's just not. It's not going to happen. And if it does, and I'm wrong, I think the world will end.
It would be.
I think the world will burn.
If it happens, it would happen this year because it seems like everything is going to shit this year. If it was going to happen, it'd be in 2020. And so.
I don't want to have an aneurysm thinking about that. So I'll end it with. Stand back and stand by.
Yeah. Hold on and hold on.
Oh, fuck.